Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to do your weekly TV news because things happened this week. A lot of things, actually. Surprising amount, if I'm honest.
And I know at least one thing is good.
Yeah. Well, I was expecting less just because of the election. I thought there'd be less news. Not only was there a significant amount, there was a couple of things that companies tried to fly under the radar by announcing them during the results of the election. They thought, no one will notice if we just put this in there.
It is an art form, isn't it?
Yeah, that was very smart. So we'll get straight into it. A lot of stuff to get through. Some very interesting things. First thing, which is very interesting, is Stranger Things has added 3 new cast members to season 2. Two of them are names that we'll reckon. Well, at least I recognise. I mean, everyone might not, but one's a newcomer. So first up, we've got Sean Astin, who of course is from the Goonies, which I think is the most relevant thing here. I mean, obviously he's in Lord of the Rings, yeah, that silly little trilogy that people enjoy.
It's probably more famous for.
But the Goonies is what made him.
I mean, sure,
He's the
but
main character in the Goonies, and the Goonies is far more relevant to Stranger Things than Lord of the Rings is.
I will agree with that logic. But which one's he more famous for now?
Just because, look, people are idiots, right? So it's not my fault if he's more
Mm.
famous for the lesser films. And I'm being facetious, guys. I don't think Lord of the Rings is that bad. I'm not into them that much, but Goonies is clearly my favourite out of the two. Um, but no, he's coming to season 2. He will play Bob Newby, who is a kind-hearted former nerd who went to high school with Joyce and Sheriff Hopper. Bob is now the manager of the Hawkins Radio Shack, so that's his character.
Yeah,
So
cool. I'm down.
I can see how he fits in. I can see him being maybe more of an active version of the teacher from the first season.
Yeah, kind of like that role model for them.
Yeah, where he sort of befriends the kids and gets nerdy and talks about tech and radio waves and all that jazz.
Yeah.
The second new cast member is Paul Reiser, who also someone from the 80s. He was in Aliens in terms of 80s stuff. He was probably most famous though for his sitcom Mad About You that he did with Helen Hunt. That's where a lot of people know him from. He's going to play Dr. Owens, who is from the Department of Energy, and he is described as a muckety muck who is tasked with containing the events of the previous year, namely season 1. So he's a scientist, which I think is cool. I don't see him often enough and stuff these days. I'm actually kind of excited about him popping up.
I also think that one out of every new character probably points most about some, plot elements.
Well, you say that, but here we get to character.
Okay, out of everything we've had before.
Okay, but getting to character number 3, Linnea Bertelsen, if I'm saying that right, who's a Danish actress. She will play Roman, an emotionally damaged young woman who suffered a big loss as a kid. Roman isn't natively from Hawkins, which I'm assuming she might actually be Danish in the show. It doesn't actually say, but she might be. But she is connected to all the spooky stuff that happened at the Department of Energy lab during the first season.
Mm.
So, prominent figure from the backstory of all the things that went on. So,
Aye.
so there you go. That's two actors that I'm happy to see, and a newbie who has a very interesting sounding tie to the plot. So, cool. So let's move on to some other things here. The CW has. I'm paying attention to my cat because he's very dangerously close to pressing buttons on the keyboard. So I'm just going to.
Do you know why? Because cats are dicks.
Cats are lovely. Shut your face. He is ginger though, so he is the most troublesome.
See,
of the three.
now I'm torn. It's like, I mean, he's a cat, so he's a dick, but he's a ginger, so it's like he's on my side.
No one's on your side. But yeah, so CW has ordered more episodes of DC's Legends of Tomorrow, which originally apparently got 13 episodes, although we had a lot of debates about this back when we were discussing the show coming back, because they never actually said 13 episodes. At least everything I've seen, it just talked about the show coming back.
But I was adamant that it was shorter.
And I was saying that it felt like it was probably a full season because they didn't specify. Because it's weird for a season 2 to only get a half season order unless they specify it.
Yeah.
It's out of the ordinary. But apparently it only got 13 originally, and now it's going to be 17 episodes total, which is one more than season 1. We're getting 8 before Christmas, so we'll have 9 left after Christmas. So, should be a little bit more spread out than the other shows, or they might just be ending a little bit early so they can start a mid-season show sometime at the end of March, maybe early April.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. I mean, because it's coming back, late January?
Which, don't get me wrong, I still think that's a little bit late for a mid-season show to start, but I mean, they're trying new things, you know.
Yeah, I mean, mid-March isn't uncommon.
But
So
that's
it's only a little bit late.
But that would assume that there's no breaks, though.
Well, yeah, I'm just thinking stuff like iZombie's first season, I think, was mid-March.
Yeah, it does happen, but I feel like there'll probably be 1 or 2 breaks as well, so it's looking more like early April at the earliest for us.
I mean, think about it, 9 weeks from the end of January brings us to...
End of March.
End of March. So I was going to say start of April, and then you threw me off. Jesus.
But there's probably going to be at least 1 or 2 weeks break.
Yeah.
And all that.
Which is kind of almost verging onto summer territory by that point.
Yeah, so which is why I think maybe it might just be more spread. Maybe just a couple of extra breaks and it'll end about the same time. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then maybe they'll do a double final or something and it'll make it a bit quicker. I don't know.
Yeah. Have to wait and see.
There you go, 17 episodes for Legends of Tomorrow Season 2. And I'm actually kind of happy about this because Season 2 so far has been kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm down for more episodes at the minute.
Yeah, and Season 1 was not that good after the first few, so there you go. The next story is something that did come out in the middle of the election results. So, Freeform decided to quietly cancel Dead of Summer.
Good.
Which we watched 4 episodes of and abandoned it fairly promptly after that. So, yeah, it was not very good. And it's gone, so that's fine. Bye-bye.
That is like the art of cancellation, though, isn't it? Let's sneak it out at like literally the best time you could ever sneak something out like that.
The other story that came out during the election results was the cancellation of Conviction, which is the Haley Atwell show at ABC. However, they actually retconned this a couple of days later, and it multiple sources, so there's rumours from multiple people saying that it's not officially cancelled, they're just not ordering the back 9. They're leaving the option open to continue it.
Right, okay.
So it's very murky. It sounds like they're not sure what they're doing with it yet.
It sounds to me like they've got something in to come in after it, and they're waiting to see how that does and weigh up their options, pick the better of the two.
Don't mind me throwing the cat across the room. It kind of sounds like that. They're leaving it open and they're not outright cancelling it because they want to have the option.
Which is fine.
That's fine. We didn't even try it because it's a legal drama and we just, nope.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, let's get to some other things that are a bit more interesting. So, Sci-Fi has set the Season 2 premiere dates for a couple of shows that are coming back mid-season. One is going to be on January 25th, and that's the second season of The Magicians. And then the other one is the second season of The Expanse, which is going to start on February 8th, which is going to start with a double premiere episode. So that's going to be a double the first week back. Now, The Expanse, for sure, we are definitely going to be watching Season 1 of over Christmas, and we'll have a video review of the first season up sometime in January, early January. So you can look forward to that, because the idea is that, assuming we like it, and we think we might based on the buzz, we will be covering Season 2 of that. We may also try The Magicians, since it's also in a similar spot. We can watch Season 1 over Christmas break.
Yeah, we'll probably see how much time we got. Yeah. How much is worth it? We'll have to evaluate it after the first episode.
We'll watch the first episode or two and we'll see if we want to continue it. So we might cover that, but The Expanse is definitely something we're looking at covering in Season 2.
Yeah.
So that's when that comes back. And it's on a Wednesday. Both shows are on a Wednesday.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, not Tuesday. Not the heavily packed Tuesday, which is going to be just as heavily packed after Christmas because things keep adding to Tuesdays because...
We've got another show adding to Tuesday this coming week.
I know!
Just when we thought, Channel Zero, that's ending. That'll free up a nice slot on Tuesday.
Nope.
No, bloody won't.
No. What's the show that's starting?
I think it's called Good Behaviour.
Good Behaviour, yes. It's about the woman who's like a con artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good.
The trailer was not bad. So here's hoping. That's got a double premiere on the week before Channel Zero ends.
It's going to be a long night.
It's going to be a long Wednesday catching up on all that Tuesday night TV. All right, next things up. This is not a new show because we actually heard about this in August. We still don't have a title, but we also don't have a plot, so we can't even play our game.
Oh, so it's still not the Mermaid Show.
So it's still
when
not
you said, "Oh, we haven't heard about it in a while," I was like, "Come on!"
This is the show that David O. Russell's developing with Robert De Niro and Julianne Moore both starring. We heard about it in August, but it didn't have a network yet. That's what's changed. We now have a platform. It's going to be on Amazon.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I had NBC in my head. Like, I hadn't seen this, I hadn't read it. It just it felt like I can see this on NBC.
No, apparently it was Amazon and FX that were bidding for it, so Amazon got it. So you can tell it's more of a cable show then. And we don't even know the number of episodes at this point, which is really weird. The only thing we do know is that David O. Russell, who of course directed American Hustle and a bunch of other stuff, big movies for the last few years, he is going to be writing and directing every episode.
Big ask.
Which makes me think it'll be like 6 episodes.
Yeah, 8 at most.
Yeah, it's going to be shorter. They did also mention that Robert De Niro's getting paid $850,000 per episode.
Well, of course he is.
Because
the guy's earned it.
But that'll be a good chunk of that budget, I'm willing to bet.
This is probably why it's on Amazon and not NBC.
It was never up for NBC.
No, I know, that's what I mean. That's probably why, though.
Yeah, because they weren't willing to pay for Robert De Niro. Oh, well. Alright, next up. Oh, here we go. This is less than good. So CBS and Warner Brothers are in the early stages of developing a spin-off for The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, I saw about this, and then it made me angry.
And it's going to be a prequel series focusing on the young Sheldon Cooper.
Do you know what annoys me most about this?
What?
So the point is clearly going, hey, you like The Big Bang Theory, let's watch the spin-off. But at least with most spin-offs, there's like a character link. You know, they often aren't good, they don't work, but there's a clear link that makes sense why your audience should follow it.
Unless you're Frasier, in which case you might even be better than your original show.
Exactly. I did say usually.
Yeah, there's exceptions, but yeah.
Yeah. This annoys me because, yes, sure, it's still technically Sheldon. So, I mean, yeah, there, but it's not, is it? It's a different character. It's someone else at a different point in his life. It's not, let's follow the next part.
Even if the character's identical, and they probably will make it identical because this is CBS we're talking about, it'll be a different actor. You won't have the exact same sort of thing. And I feel like they're just going to turn him up to 11.
Exactly. And I know you got Jim Parsons producing it, but how young is this? Because, you know, like, it says young Sheldon, right?
I think teenage. I think he'll be an awkward teenager with his mother and father or whatever. And
yeah.
He'll be a teenager. You will see him at school and how much of an outcast
he is. Well, see, this
is
the thing, because I used to watch it, and I remember them, like, they made a whole big thing, like, how he went to, like, university when he was, like, 12 or something stupidly young.
Oh, well, maybe it'll be university then. He'll still be a teenager.
Yeah, and I can't help but think, why would anyone want to watch that? Like, at least with The Big Bang Theory, if you tell me just the core concept, I can understand why someone would want to watch it. You know, like, the comedy is subjective, don't get me wrong, but the core concept on its own isn't that different from a lot of sitcoms.
Yeah.
This, why? I can't understand it. The cat clearly agrees with me.
Yes, he's nodding in agreement. He's like, yes, fellow Ginger, I agree with you.
He also looks very unimpressed. I think he's just unimpressed with the show, like me.
Okay. Actually, do you want pirate, hon? I can see I did pirate. Yar, me matey. No, okay. Sorry, cat. I do apologise. I'll give you extra food later for that embarrassment. All right, yeah, I don't care about this. I don't like The Big Bang Theory. I don't care about this. It's big enough that we had to throw it in the news and mention it was a thing.
It actually annoyed me as to, like, that's the thing. It's a random spin-off, I get, but I can't understand what part of their audience this appeals to. I physically don't understand that.
That's the whole thing. It's a brand. You know, they can put Big Bang Theory on the title, or even, you know what? That's what they're going to end up calling it.
Little Bang Theory.
Yeah, Little Bang Theory.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to end up
And
calling it, or something like
it's so obvious because we obviously clearly both went to that
that. Yeah.
instantly that they're gonna bloody do it, aren't they?
It's CBS. They're going to do the most obvious thing because that's what they do. All right. Speaking of shows that we don't usually talk about, but we're talking about this because it is actually a bit of TV history. A record has been broken. The Simpsons has been renewed for 2 more seasons, which is seasons 29 and seasons 30, and that will actually put it over the previous record of the most shows for a scripted TV show of all time. Because by the time it hits the end of season 30, it'll have 669 episodes, which will be more than Gunsmoke, which is the previous record holder, which ran from 1955 to 1975, and that hits 635 episodes.
It's weird because I haven't watched it in a long time.
I don't think, like, this is hitting season 30, I don't think I've seen anything from a season that's in double digits.
I might have seen some early double-digit stuff.
Yeah, but I think the last time, I used to love it when I was a kid. Up until I was like 12 or 13, I used to really enjoy it, but...
And do you know what? I bet if I was that age, I went on and watched it on an evening now, I'd probably still, one of the newer episodes.
Yeah, I'd
probably still
fine.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's the weird thing with this, that while I don't care, I'm not going to watch it, it probably deserves its record at this point.
Yeah, it's sure. It's one of these weird things where I legitimately believe that nothing should run this long. I feel like I think any type of show should be something that you could conceivably want to collect. Like, say you buy TV shows in Blu-ray, DVD, whatever. Like, you should conceivably want to own the whole thing and want to revisit it. But there's a point where you've got 30 seasons. Like, first of all, buying all that's a lot, right? And then whenever you want to rewatch it, like, how long is that rewatch each time? I mean, hell, haven't FXX or whatever channel it has been doing like these like 3-week long Simpsons marathons, because that's how long airing all the episodes back to back is now. Because it's like, and
I agree with all this for every show except Doctor Who, which can run forever.
It gets
because it cheats.
It does cheat, but the point I'm making is that it gets unwieldy. And Doctor Who at least restarted, like, it had a proper hard reset in 2005, and it's like going out to season 10 now, season 9, 10. What's the next one?
10.
Yeah, that's still in the realm of, and even then, those are 13 episode seasons. It's not too unwieldy yet. That said, I do think that in like 5-10 years time, it should be time for another hard.
See, I disagree because I like the soft. The thing with like something like The Simpsons is it is the exact same, barring like certain things here and there. It's the same.
I do think eventually though it has to have another big hard reset. Because even the hard reset before didn't erase everything that happened. It
didn't.
It still happened. I'm just saying that every so often, every like couple of decades, take a break for 5 years, come back, with the assumption that anyone can jump on completely fresh at this point.
We'll see if I'm sick of it in 5 years, and then ask me again.
I just think it's good to be fresh, is all I'm saying. I think Doctor Who does have this great formula where it can kind of cheat and have. Yeah. I mean, it kind of bothers me at the same time as well, though. I feel like, well, why does Matt Smith Doctor Who not still show signs of remembering like the companions from before? Because it's still him.
He does.
Never mentions it.
I mean, some of them do mention it.
Not a whole lot.
There are certain moments where they do mention things where these things are important.
I don't know. Maybe subtly, sure. And obviously, there's times where the companions are there, like crossing over, because they've still got the same companion. So obviously, it has to carry on. But
and it's time travel, so you're going to have meetings.
It definitely feels though like when it switches to a new Doctor that they never. Like it feels like a proper reset. It never feels like they go back and visit the old one all that much. And I'm not saying it's never happened. I can think of a couple of examples, but they
don't expect for special occasions as a general rule. And I think that is part of why it is like almost a soft reset, because it's like, hey, jump on, have fun.
I sometimes feel like when I'm watching the new Doctor, like I'm on the last season of Matt Smith right now. I do feel like nothing that happened with Tennant feels like it was really. And I know there's an episode coming up. There's a special between the seasons where they interact, but it's I don't know, like it doesn't feel like, Rose and Martha and whatever, all that stuff. Didn't really feel like it happened.
That's fair enough.
Like, 'cause they always do this thing between seasons for some reason where he'll leave the companion like alone for a while,
And come back and pick them back
and then
up.
come back up and pick them back up. And all I can think is, well, why would they always go back to the one that he just had? Why wouldn't they? Oh, in the off season, I'll go back to the previous companion. And it's usually because in Doctor Who they write some stupid science fiction reason why you can't go back to them.
Usually, yeah.
But but all of it just feels like a thinly veiled reason for why. Oh, it's because the actors don't want to come back, so we just can't.
I agree. I will say there have been times where they have actually addressed that exact problem. No, they've addressed that directly, and it's not perfect, but still. But anyway, to get back to my point with the Simpsons, because we've gone off on one here.
We have.
It's kind of my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you brought up Doctor Who.
Yes, it's ran for a long time, and yes, it probably should end. But go on, let it break its record at this point, and then end it. It's close enough where might as well.
Do you know what I don't like about it? It's so similar to my age that I seeing it hitting season 30 is like this awful, awful thing. I'm like, God no,
Yeah.
What were you doing to me? Come on, this is chronicling my own mortality here. Come on, stop it. Anyway, so yeah, Simpsons is hitting season 30 in a couple of years. It's officially going to get there, and there you go. I think at this point they have to decide, right, do we want it into 30? Because 30 is a good round number to end on. Or do we keep going until we hit 1,000 episodes? Like, which, is it worth it?
Yeah, no, it is a big dilemma.
But the thing is, though, 1,000, that's another, like, 7 seasons, something like that. That's still another good number of episodes. That's seasons, I mean.
Well, probably more. I mean, they're at, 30 will bring them to, did you say 669?
Yeah, that's true, yeah. It's probably like another 10 seasons. More than that, even.
It's pretty more like another 12, 13 seasons.
Yeah, it's a big commitment if you want to shoot for that.
Yeah. And if they go in like 12, 13 seasons, they'll be in like, mid-40s. By that, they'll be getting into the 40s. At that point, you go, do we go for 50 seasons?
Yeah, it's a never-ending thing.
There's a point where you've got to just call it.
Yeah.
And I feel like smash your record, claim your victory, that's it. Call it there.
Yeah, but we'll see if they do. We'll see if they...
The real thing is, though, is it still making money? If yes, well, they're probably going to keep going.
Do any of the voice actors actually want to keep doing it at this point? Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright, let's talk about new shows. We've tangented enough. We've got new shows to talk about.
One of these better be a returning new show.
No.
Then I am outraged. You have not put the biggest TV news of the week, in my opinion.
Okay, hit me. What have I missed?
Young Justice.
Oh, I did miss that. Alright, in my defence, the sites that I normally check, it wasn't there.
It's not their sort of thing, is it?
It's not. It's because it's an animated show, and they don't typically.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a big deal.
You're right to pull me up on this, Jess. Young Justice Season 3 has been announced. When was Season 2? It's been a while, hasn't it?
3-4 years, maybe longer.
Oh, that was weird. But hey.
Yeah, it was a good few years ago, and it was officially cancelled.
Huh.
Like...
Not that I've watched Season 1 and 2 yet, but I'm meaning to get around to it. I hear it's good.
Last episode was in March 2013, so...
Oh, so by the time it hits, it'll be 4 years, probably.
Yeah, best.
Yeah. Oh, well.
And I loved it. This show was fantastic. It was like great serialized storytelling in cartoon and, DC world. Can't help but love that.
Yeah, it's weird that I've not watched this yet, to be honest. For some reason, I just never get around to it.
Yeah, it's definitely your sort of thing.
I will definitely catch up for Season 3 hitting whenever they announce a date for that, so... but no.
It's a big one, though, because there's been a lot of fans petitioning this for literally years now.
Yeah, no, that's good.
And I was surprised. It kind of came out of nowhere in the end.
Yeah. I wonder why. I wonder what's inspired the decision.
That's true, because obviously the reason it got cancelled, or the general assumption of it got cancelled, is that the toy sales weren't very good
All right.
because it was so serialized, it was actually appealing to an adult audience more than a kid
Do
audience.
you worry that season 3 might change the serialized nature of it then?
I think it depends if they're still like willing to sacrifice if they're wanting to go, we need to get the toys, then yes, I'm a little concerned about that. But there's the chance where they go, hang on, this is so popular and there's a reason for that. And like if they bring it back how it was, they might bank on some like getting the money from adults watching it rather than just bank on the toy sales and adjust their expectations in line with that and market it differently because of that.
Possibly. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, but it's a concern.
Alright, new shows. Starting with the comedies, as I usually do here. Elizabeth Banks is producing a show for CBS. It's called Something to Celebrate. It's a single camera comedy, and it follows four adult siblings who work in their family's popular bakery and enjoy the fun of being in a second generation American family that loves a celebration.
I like Elizabeth Banks a lot. The
I
rest of it,
I have no problem with this concept. I just think that's a really weird sentence.
it
Like,
is, and
a, the fun of being a second generation American family that loves a celebration. Like, who are families that don't love celebrating?
yeah, it's strange.
I mean, even if you're like me and you're a bit of a weirdo and don't like lots of people and don't like, parties necessarily, I still celebrate things.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Like you celebrate Supergirl every Monday with having a donut. That's celebrating.
Is it a celebration or is it just a ritual?
Okay, that one may be a ritual. But you
Or
celebrate.
is it just because I have donuts?
You do celebrate things. Celebrating something people do.
Aye, usually.
Right. It's a weird. It's like, oh, this family loves to celebrate. They have a bakery. They make cakes for people who are celebrating things.
Man, that's what it's going to be. Just jokes about cakes.
I'm okay with that. Hey, it's
Yeah, but
better.
then
It's better than the Great Indoors. At least the humor's based on something other than, oh, I'm old and I don't get the internet. Ugh.
that's true. Credit where it's due.
That said, it is still at CBS, which means it's probably going to be terrible. However, we'll give it a try, because why not?
Yeah, it's easy to commit to 20 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah. Alright, another comedy. Fox are developing a comedy from the creators of How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
So that's Carter Bays and Craig Thomas. They are producing a comedy called Open Arms. And it's a single camera comedy, sorry.
I was gonna say.
It's a one episode. They're just doing one
I was
episode.
gonna say, what's a single comedy? Is
That's-
it all about single people?
It could be that. Single camera comedy following a couple named Howie and Joy who learn that they can't have a baby. They learn that they can't do that. So for some reason they put all their money into buying an inn in Vermont that they visit every year to run. So they decide to buy an inn and run it.
That's a strange decision.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going, oh man, we could do some IVF. Maybe we could adopt. No. Let's just buy an inn.
Yeah, and
That's the solution.
they realise they're in over their heads. So
They're in over their heads. I know that's not on you.
It's not on
but
me,
God
no.
damn it. Please tell me did they spell that with a double N?
They didn't know.
Damn it.
Now I think the baby thing's a little bit depressing, but I actually have no problem with two people buying in and like,
Yeah.
because I almost think of Fawlty Towers, which is a famous British comedy, which is fantastic. This can be a great premise for a comedy, so why not? Sure.
Yeah, it gives you a good excuse to have revolving cast.
And
You
it's-
have your core
yeah.
cast who run the place, and this couple obviously.
And let's be fair, Fox are doing Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which we enjoy.
Yeah.
New Girl's hit and miss, but they've got things going.
I'd still probably recommend New Girl.
Yeah. So, it could be good. I think it's a fine. I think a bakery and an inn, a hotel situation, both fine places for comedy set up.
Yeah. No reason why neither of them could be pretty good.
So next up, we have another comedy It is a comedy procedural called Magnolia Springs, which is CBS, unfortunately. Um, it's from site creator Stephen Franks, and it centres on the sheriff of Magnolia Springs, which is the name of the town, and he discovers that his progressive and idyllic town in the new American South is a hotbed of criminal activity, and he enlists the help of his teenage son to investigate the town's dark secrets. And so far, this doesn't sound like a comedy, does it? It sounds like a more of a cop
Yeah,
show. But then the last thing it says is investigate the town's dark secrets and quirky crimes.
I'm not sure if this sounds incredible or absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a comedy until it says quirky at the end.
What's it going to
Which
be like? Ah, sorry, I stole a cake from that bakery over there.
it's going to be going to cross over with
Yeah.
Love to
Forgot the
Celebrate.
name already.
Oh, yeah, whatever it was called. Yeah. CBS. I'm not expecting anything.
No, me neither. But
But as
it's
far as concepts go, I mean,
it's got its unique selling point.
yeah. And unfortunately, our last comedy of the week is another CBS one. Uh, it's going to be set at a sports agency. It's coming from LeBron James's production company, Spring Hill Entertainment, which is news to me that LeBron James has a production company. But yeah, it's called Thankless, and it's following a group of ambitious assistants who pursue their dreams at a sports agency in Chicago. That's your whole thing. Again, it's just fine.
Yeah.
I think, a group of wannabe agents sharing their horror stories of all the clients they have to put up with is a fine idea for comedy.
I agree.
But again, CBS, and that typically lowers my expectations.
Again, I agree.
You're
It's,
just,
it's there's not much else I can say on that, though, is there? He said it all.
don't get me wrong. Like, I enjoy that Connor's just admitting that I'm right about everything, but it is making for a less entertaining conversation, Connor. I have to admit.
I agree there. That was intentional. But what can I say? It's CBS, but it's a comedy. It's got a fine premise. It could be good.
Do you know?
Might not
I would love to be in, because they're all, none of them are multi-camera, which is good. But
That is
at the same time, after watching that Great Indoors pilot, I am just like so negative on CBS as a comedy network right now. It doesn't help that they also did, Two Broke Girls, and I think they did Two and a Half Men. Like
like I said, they did I think Life in Pieces was them. That was pretty good. That's it in the last
did that last long?
Yeah, I think it's on season 2 at the minute.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it's still going. All right.
enough.
I haven't heard anything about after that, but
All right, let's go on to some of the dramas then. And
okay.
as is almost tradition here on a weekly basis, we seem to be talking about a movie that's getting turned into a TV show.
Of course we bloody are.
Here's one you probably weren't expecting, though, if you've even heard of the movie, if you even remember it. It came out in 2002. It's
Okay.
called Blue Crush.
I remember the name.
It's a surfing movie. It was a trio of ladies. It was Kate Bosworth and Michelle Rodriguez and a third person, who the article did not mention, so clearly not as famous as the other two.
I was just thinking.
But yeah, it was a movie that came out in 2002. It was basically a group of surfer girls. They're preparing for a big competition. One of them falls in love with a guy. That was the plot of the movie. I've never seen it. I'm just going off the IMDb description here. But yeah, they're developing it into a movie. It's NBC who's developing the show.
Why?
It's a good question. They want a hip, young,
Do you know
good-looking
what this
people.
kind of feels like? They went, everyone else is turning movies into TV shows.
Well, they already
What can we afford the rights to on top of everything
they
else?
already had Cruel Intentions in development,
Well, so they did.
and then shelved it and said, "No, we're not doing that."
At least that's got some bloody name recognition.
Yeah, it's got Sarah Michelle Gellar, and they actually had her on board.
Yeah, like there was name recognition. No one cares about this, do
And
they?
surely filming surfing sequences make it more expensive. I have to imagine it does.
Unless they fake it.
well, there's going to be an element of faking, but they have to go out and shoot some actual surfing for cutaways. They just have to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you just do that 3 hours on a beach. That's it for your season then.
I feel like they need more than that for a whole. If it's about surfing, I feel like they need specific stuff. You can get away with maybe some generic stuff for just when she's like practicing, sure.
Probably.
But when they're doing a
Yeah.
competition and they've got like other contestants and stuff, they're going to need fresh surfing shots.
Aye.
Needless to say, I don't really care. I mean, we'll probably check out a pilot if it happens. You know, why not? But I can't say I'm thrilled at the idea.
I'm not optimistic in the slightest.
So there you go. Yeah. So that's next we have Unsolved, which is a USA Network pilot that they've ordered.
Damn it.
What?
Because we have to check out everything they do now. Doesn't matter if it sounds good or not.
Because of Mr. Robot, yes, they get the carte blanche. Unless it sounds truly terrible. But this is a scripted show based on a true crime series, based on a book specifically, from an LAPD officer who actually wrote the book and investigated both the murders of Tupac and Big E. So, we're getting a show based on them. It's called Unsolved. It's going to chronicle the two stories. Of course, Tupac was killed in 1996 and Big E was killed in 1997. It doesn't mention that doing it as two stories, so I think it will be an intertwined thing. Will they tackle both? Yeah. So it's coming from the producer and the director who did American Crime Story, The People vs. O.J. Simpson. He's directing the pilot.
I heard good things about that.
Yeah, then you hear bad things, certainly.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll check it out.
I guess. I'm not really into true crime that much myself,
but could be alright.
Could be. And then last up this week, we have a drama from TV Land has been greenlit. The TV, you're probably thinking TV. They're an old channel, but they used to just do reruns. It's only in the last couple of years they've been doing.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I was about to say, did you say TV Land?
TV
Land. Like, what?
TV Land, yeah, next to Jurassic Park in Wally's World.
Yeah.
Wally's World is a deep cut reference for anyone. Obviously, it's a theme park based on the other two things, but if you know what movie's that from, congratulations, you got the reference. I'm not telling you, Connor.
That's fine.
You don't deserve to know.
I mean, I have Google at my fingertips if I really cared.
Don't ruin it.
I don't care enough to.
Don't ruin it when I'm putting you down, right? Just accept that you're being put down. Accept it and let me enjoy it.
Alright.
TV Land has greenlit American Woman, which is going to be set in the 1970s. It's a period dramedy inspired by the real life of Real Housewives star Kyle Richards. It's going to star Elisa Silverstone and Mina Savari. Hopefully this is a better show for Mina Savari than the other show that we covered with her in it for one episode last year.
This is the thing. This could be utterly atrocious and it would still be a better show.
That was called South of Hell. If you want to be interested in how bad that was, we did do a review of the first episode. You can find that on the channel. I'll put a link in the corner. Why not? Yeah. So, South of Hell can get some views a year later.
Just, spoiler. Possibly the worst hour of TV I've ever watched in my life.
No, it definitely is the worst hour of TV I've ever watched in my life. And I've seen some bad TV, but this was the worst. This was diabolical. So this has to be better than that. But anyway, it's got a 12-episode order, and it's set amid the sexual revolution and the rise of the second wave feminism. American Woman follows Bonnie, played by Silverstone, an unconventional mother struggling to raise her two daughters after leaving her husband. With the help of her two best friends, Kathleen and Diana, these three women each discover their own brand of independence in a world reluctant to give it.
Sure. I don't know. Kind of just sounds very bland.
Yeah, I'll say this. It doesn't instantly sound like something I would be interested in, but I can see this having an audience, and I can see it, I can see its importance. It feels very relevant, I think, today.
I would agree if it wasn't being played as a dramedy.
Yeah, maybe. I can see it kind of appealing, depending on the quality. I mean, if it's just really poorly written and directed, then no, but I can see this maybe appealing to the Mad Men crowd.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
Period piece. It's a decade later. It's from the female point of view as opposed to the men's point of view from Mad Men. I can see it finding an audience there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Uh, I didn't even like Mad Men, and that was a really popular show. So
Yeah, I think I tried like 3 episodes and was just like, nah, I
I
can't.
watched a season and a half. I really gave that a chance.
Oh man, you gave it way more chance than me. I just after 3 episodes, I was like, do you know what? I'm kind of bored. I'm done.
Yeah. I wasn't into Mad Men. I gave it a proper chance. It's the same with Game of Thrones. Both Mad Men and Game of Thrones, I gave it about a season and a half. I realised I wasn't really liking them. I'm watching them because they're popular, not because I actually enjoying them. So I can see this being good for people, but maybe not. That said, we may try the first episode when it hits. I say may. It depends how busy the schedule is, honestly.
Do you know what? No. The real thing is depends whether or not it's on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, if it's on a Tuesday night, it's not getting watched because Tuesday night is so packed. It's basically a killing blow now for new shows. If they hit on a Tuesday night, maybe not during the summer because summer's quieter, obviously than the network season time. But network season time right now on a Tuesday night is so packed for us that Jesus.
It has to sound and have like a really great trailer
Yeah.
for us to think this has a chance.
Watch this be on like a Saturday when there's no shows. Just it's like, all right, we'll try it. Sure.
Yeah.
Nothing else is on.
As I said, if they put it on a Saturday, I'm going to question why.
Hey, Ash vs Evil Dead was on a Saturday last year, and that was fantastic. So.
And I still questioned why. I mean, I watched an episode and they answered why. Okay, fine, doesn't matter. But I'm going to ask anyway.
All right, but that's the news. That's everything this week, which is actually less than I thought we had, if I'm honest.
Yeah, you told me this was going to be like a massive gauntlet, and I was like, okay.
Hey,
it's gonna
40
be loads.
minutes is still pretty long.
And I did add a news article to what you had.
True. But still, meaty enough. So that's this week's news. Let us know what you think of any of these new shows and or stories. We're always curious to hear if you're excited by any of it. Unfortunately, there was no untitled shows. So actually, technically, the Big Bang Theory one was, and we did kind of come up with a name for it. But
we played the game, even with the, it
was
kind
too
of a
easy.
cheat.
It was too easy, though.
It was too easy.
It was too easy.
They're still going to call it that.
They either call it that, or maybe they'll say that's my spot, or something. Well, that's my seat. Whatever he says about your seat, I can't remember the exact phrase.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. But hey. Although
as long as they don't call it Bazinga.
Oh, they might. They might call it Bazinga.
Right.
Oh, that's so obvious. They might just do that as well. Bazinga, or I could actually see them going really bland and just calling it Sheldon.
Take like the Joey route.
Yeah, I could see them doing that. Although, you know what? I'm actually thinking Bazinga over Little Bang Theory now.
I am now. That's come into my head.
Yeah, that seems far too... Because they could have him saying that. I don't think there's anything to stop them from having him saying that at a young age.
Nothing at all. I mean, to give him credit, don't want to praise him, but there's no reason that wouldn't make any sense.
It's going to be called Bazinga. I'm calling it now.
Balls, I hate how bloody obvious they make their names to guess.
Do you know what I hate most about that show, though? Really?
That it exists.
No, what I hate most about that show is that was on for years before The Flash was, and there was a time when if I seen someone in the street in a Flash t-shirt, it was probably because of Big Bang Theory, and that upset me.
That is true.
That really upset me. Even the Bazinga t-shirt that you see is in the Flash colours because Sheldon wears a Flash shirt a lot. Oh, it really annoys me. Anyway, that's the news this week. Let us know what you thought of any of it and all that stuff. Like and subscribe, it helps us out if you do. Of course, check out the stuff that we covered this week. I don't think there was any new shows during the week. We've got one new one next week we mentioned. Good Behaviour coming from... Was that USA Network? I want to say. Maybe FX?
No, it was... it was... They had the show with... balls.
Hulu?
No.
That's not Hulu.
It's gonna.
Yeah, if I remember.
I think it begins with a T.
TNT.
Yes.
Yeah, if I'd remembered we were going to be plugging it, I would have had this information up so that I didn't sound like I was an idiot. So apologies for that. But yeah, we're covering at least the first episode of that next week. So you can check that out. This week, though, it's kind of simple, slightly quieter week because a lot of shows took the week off for the election night. So there was no Flash, Scream Queens, or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So
And no Timeless either.
quieter week. Movie-wise, though, we did have a horror movie review up for Satanic. Me and Tim did that. That was a terrible movie. It has 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. So if you want to just hear about how bad that movie was, not worrying about spoilers because you're never going to want to watch it, trust me, you can check out that. Also, coming later this weekend, me and Matt will have a review up of Arrival, which is a new science fiction film starring Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. And yeah, plus the comics podcast as usual and the usual stuff. But yeah, so thanks very much, guys. Keep watching TV. We'll see you next time.